Okay, so we have Photopea open. We're going to click on PSD templates. And you're going to see that there's all this work that's already been done. Okay, and I'm going to go to this one just to show you. If I double click on it, you could see it's loading. It's loading this in, and I can type right on it. So someone's done all that work already, and I can type right on it. And when I look over here, when I look in my layers palette, it shows you all of the things that have been done. It's a lot of work. And some of it, you may not even know what it means, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to go to some of these templates, and like here, I'm gonna go to text, and then I'm gonna go to my type tool. This is my type tool. It's here on the left, it's the letter T. And if I click the mouse and drag, right? I click the mouse and drag, I can change the text. So I'm going to go on the Your Text layer, and I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to change it. So I highlight it, and I'm just going to put my name. Okay?
It doesn't pop up on my thing.
What doesn't pop up on your thing? The templates? So they're not loading? Okay. Are you guys having that problem too? They're not loading on yours? Can I see your computer? Okay, so you might not be able to see it, so this is, what if I just double click on it? No, hold on. Oh yeah, it was working, hold on. You might not be able to see what the options are, because it makes up too much. But if I have them up on my screen, let's see. I'm going to do neon sign, because that one's kind of cool. And it's going to load. There it is. Okay, so that's, all right, so that's good that you told me that. So let me go back. I'm just going to show you guys, because I guess it takes up so much memory to show all of those that the Chromebooks aren't going to show it. So these are the templates. So if you guys take a look at these templates, you can see what the names are, right? The one I did was the simple YouTube thumbnail. But you can click on any of the different ones, and I want you to kind of play around with it. So here's the simple YouTube thumbnails will allow you to kind of change your names. The neon sign, you could see what that says. So let's see, my kid's pretty into this Among Us thing. So if I click on it, it'll load, and then it'll be in here, and then you're gonna notice on the right all of the different layers, right? So what you would do is you would play around with these different layers. So maybe, I don't even know what'll happen here. If I go to the tint layer and I double click on the red, what happens if I change it? It's changing the way it looks in the background. I could say okay, right? If I change the character, right? I want you guys to click on these different layers and play around with some of the sliders, some of what you see here, see what you like. If you don't like it, oops, you would say click out of it. But I want you guys who were done, right? You guys who are finished, you have everything submitted. I want you to play around with some of these different templates, okay? Because I want you to understand how you can change text. So the way I change text is I go to that actual layer. So I'm going to go to the Among layer. I go to the Type tool, and I click and drag, and then I can just say Monday, and see it's not where I want it. I can move it if I have to move it. If it's too big, I can make the size a little smaller. Right? And then I could go to us, the us layer, highlight it. Oops. Highlight it, and maybe I change it to blues, right? Monday blues. And again, it's too big, so if I highlight it by dragging, I can go a little smaller, right? So I want you to go to some of these templates that already exist and play around with them. So now if my text is in the wrong place, the very top tool is the move tool. I can move it, right? You can play around with color. You can put whatever text in. So I want you to just experiment with some of these already existing thumbnails, okay? Some of these already existing templates. And you guys will change 3 of them, however you want, and you will submit all 3 that are changed. So this one I haven't changed enough, but, and I also don't love the color, how I changed the color. So I'm gonna see what I wanna do with that. What? How did I do it? I have to look at all the different layers, and the layers are here on the right, right? So when I wanna look at a layer or hide a layer, you have the eyeballs here on the left. So that shows when it's visible. This shows when it's visible. This shows it hidden. So I like that layer. But the tint layer, that's color, right? So I know when it's color, if I change the color, it's going to change the way it looks. So I just went to the color thumbnail. The thumbnail is this little picture here, and I double click on it. And by double clicking on that little thumbnail, it brings up the color picker. And then by changing the color, you can change the way it looks. When I have something I like, I click OK. Changing the text, I went to the text layer, and then I went to the type tool. The type tool is here on the left, and I just simply click and drag. And when I click and drag, I can change the text. I can change the size of the text. I can change the font if I want. Okay? So I want you to experiment with these, and there's no stress about it because you didn't create this. So if it gets messed up, I just want you to understand how layers work. You could see when I was with the type tool, I made an extra layer that I don't need, so I'm going to dump it here into the trash can. The character, you can see, and you can see up top here, the change color here, the hue, that's something else. If you just double click on it, you could start to see some of the things that happen. I want you to experiment with some of these tools so you have an idea of how it works. If you don't like something, you don't have to keep it. If you went to if you go to your history up here, you can change what you're working on. Does that help? So today's Monday, experiment with these templates, and you guys will do 3, and you'll submit those to me. We'll see how they come out. Okay?